Does he win? Can he beat him? Can he beat Canelo? Is his skill so much that he's able to bridge the weight classes?
He has a legitimate chance. Over 60% for his mind. If you say, Bernard, give me a number.
Give me a number.
He has an 85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the...
Are you still favoring Crawford in the fight, or has your opinion changed?
I mean, I've always favoured Canelo in the fight.
Well, I've heard that you want Canelo to win, but you feel...
Of course, yeah. I like Terence. I've worked a lot with Canelo, and I think just because of what I saw in Riyadh and because of the threat, and he's getting on as well, Crawford, but it's just like the mindset of Crawford. Like, there's no doubt in Terence Crawford's mind that he wins this fight. And when you spend a bit of time with him, you kind of start buying into that. And I guess that's what happened in Riyadh, because I travelled with him to the fight.
Crawford is going to fight Canelo, because even if I have some doubts and misgivings about the size matchup, it is two action fighters who like to fight aggressively at times, not all the times, going against each other, and we'll see who can open the other person's tuna can, so to speak.
Does he win? Can he beat him? Can he beat Canelo? Does his skills so much that he's able to bridge the weight classes? He has a legitimate chance over 60% for his mind. If you say, Aller, give me a number. Give me a number. He has a 85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the... Are you still favoring Crawford in the fight, or has your opinion changed? I mean, I've always favored Canelo in the fight. Well, I've heard that you want Canelo to win, but you feel, yeah, I like Terence. And stuff. But I've worked a lot with Canelo, and I think just because of what I saw in Riyadh and because of the and he's getting on as well, Crawford, but it's just like the mindset of Crawford, like there's no doubt it turns Crawford's mind that he wins this fight. And when you spend a bit of time with him, you kind of start buying into that. And I guess that's what happened in Riyadh, because I traveled with him to the fight that Crawford is going to fight Canelo, because even if I have some doubts and misgivings about the size matchup, it is, two action fighters who like to fight aggressively at times, not all the times, going against each other. And we'll see who can open, the other person's tuna can, so to speak. Boxing professionals have made their final decision, and it's either Canelo Alvarez or Terence Crawford. Will they also gave their reasons too, and it may be what you don't expect. Canelo Alvarez thinks you're not a 54-pounder. In other words, you say, nah, he's too small. That's his take. There's a reason why Israel was so respectful in the fight. Anytime I let my hands go, he either grabbed me or moved for the bigger guy. You should have been walking me down. You should have been bullying me. Canelo can say what he say. He just doesn't feel like you're a 54-pounder. The cards are stacked against Terence Crawford heading into his planned super middleweight super fight in September against Canelo Alvarez. And that's precisely the way he likes it. Crawford has to overcome a serious strength disadvantage once he steps into the squared circle against the Mexican superstar. Considering the circumstances, Crawford is being pegged as a betting underdog for the first time in his 17-year professional career. Such is the case when a future Hall of Fame fighter has to move up 2 weight classes to challenge a fellow all-time great and 4-division champion in Alvarez. But simply looking at the tail of the tape, however, Crawford appears to size up well. The 5 feet 8 inches in bud will boast a slash in height advantage and a 4 inches reach advantage. Although Crawford is 37, 3 years older than Alvarez, he has less wear and tear on his body as well, having fought 25 fewer fights and 263 fewer rounds than Alvarez. The right. Come on. Music, I don't have to stop him. I just have to beat him. I'm not going in there looking to knock Canelo out. Could it happen? Yes, absolutely. Crawford told The Ring during an extensive and exclusive interview. When I look at Canelo, he's a smaller, bigger guy moving up in divisions. Being that these big guys are slower, they might catch him with something, but he might see it at the last moment. They might catch him with a hard shot, but he's able to roll and turn with it because he is coming from a smaller weight class that was faster. That was sharper. I am coming from a smaller weight class that was sharper and faster. Regardless, speaking to Marcos Villegas from Fight Hub TV, Porter commented on Crawford climbing 2 divisions and the power difference that exists between the boxers fighting in 2 different weight classes. I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds, Porter confessed. However, Porter had an interesting analysis, suggesting Canelo would eventually slow down as he had done in most of his recent fights. A lot of people say, oh, well, he's money hungry. He's looking at money and he's trying to cash out and this and that. I've been getting money for years. Yeah. And I'm not stupid with my money. As you can see, I don't buy no Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and walk around with 100 people around me. And yeah, I got all this jewelry that I bought. So it led Porter to believe Canelo would start the fight on the front foot and bang on Crawford and break him down before the late rounds when he won't have the energy while Crawford would. Even so, Sean Porter didn't seem convinced that he had the answer to who would emerge victorious, claiming, but there's so many components that make a champion. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all the components that Terence Crawford has. There's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another. You know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford and we see how that panned out. Sean Porter, who was stopped by Crawford in the 10th round of their 147 title bout, disagrees that Canelo Alvarez has the advantage here. He told Fight Hype that his former opponent has many advantages against an aging Canelo. You have to get your mind out of the space of who's stronger. Boxing ain't just about strength. Who's smarter? Who's more athletic? Who's faster? Who's got more stamina? Who's got more experience? The list goes on. You add all that up and you think, wow, a lot is actually on Terence's side. Crawford recently posted a photo of a scale showing that he was 186 pounds. When asked how much he weighed at the moment, Crawford let out a hearty laugh and said 140 pounds. So, every time I see him, he'll come and be like, Canel, you know how to be like, I'll be like, man, come on, man. So every time he say that, I just be like gradually getting into like looking at like, okay. And he's not that big, he heavy, but he not that big, right? And I'm just like, all right. I'm laughing, but at the same time, it start me like, all right, man. Crawford started his career in 2008 as a 137-pounder. After winning a lightweight title, he became the undisputed champion at 140 and 147 pounds. He currently carries the World Boxing Association's 154 pounds crown after beating Israel Madrimov last summer. Alvarez kick-started his career as a 15-year-old 139-pounder in 2005 and has gone on to win titles at 154, 160, 168, and 175 pounds. He can become a 2-time undisputed super middleweight champion if he beats William Skull on May 3 in Saudi Arabia. If he gets hit with a sharp punch he doesn't see, he's definitely capable of getting hurt, said Crawford. They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost, So, let's not do that, Canelo. He's not a machine. He's human just like me. He bleeds just like me. I'm not going in there thinking, oh, I can't hurt this guy. But I'm not going in there at the same time trying to knock him out. I'm trying to fight my fight. And if the knockout comes and it's there, of course, I am going to take it. Canelo's only 2 career losses have come against Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol. He fought Money Mayweather way back in 2013 as a young up-and-comer. Many believe Terence Crawford has a similar fighting style to Mayweather, meaning beating Crawford could prove that he has changed a lot as a fighter. I respect GRA. He's a great fighter and I always say that. No disrespect him, but sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, which he's big. And everybody's talking about if I'm going to face Crawford. Speaking about the Crawford showdown, Alvarez told the Ring, you know what they want. Everybody wants that fight, but in my mind, I need to take care of the May fight and then we'll see because who knows what will happen, but I know what the people want. I need to take care of the Skull fight first. He added about the Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather comparisons to show people I am different with experience. The fighter that I am today. And I always think that I just needed more years before I fought Mayweather, but things happen and I learned a lot. I don't blame myself because I learned a lot. But yeah, it's kind of an opportunity to show what kind of a fighter I am right now. A fighter 147 who is smaller than Charlo. So no says no make sense when you guys say that right now. At the end of the day, I don't want to have credit to face Graf. But, you never know. You never know. In boxing, I'll go up and down and fight everybody out there. So, it's possible. One of those who believes Terence Crawford will defeat Canelo is Barry McGuigan. So much so that he already has a plan in mind that Bud would surely like to hear in order to strategize for the fight. In an interview with Beatway, former world champion Barry McGuigan was asked about the upcoming Canelo vs. Crawford fight and he gave his opinion without mincing words. I think Crawford needs to get back to his old self in terms of his punching power and timing. I'm going with Terence Crawford, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you.